So, welcome everybody. This is Star. This is number 26 of the monthly leadership gems. So, this is the 26th month because they are monthly that this is going on. And this month is a little bit different this time. In the past, what I've done is picked current and classic leadership books and done a briefing so that you can find something that's going to work for you. The point of gems is for you to find something that you can take right away and apply it and make it better for you as a leader. But this is why it's different. I'm doing my book. I have never done my book before in this format. So thank you so much for paying attention and listen. And this is the book. Here it is that I published in 2017. So this book is a little bit old and I'm working on the second one. So that's what this Gems is about. And as you listen in here, we have some people who are on the chat only. You will get the recording, the slides, and there's a bunch of bonuses. Um, so that's where we are. And again, Leadership Gems is about leaders are so different. They are like grains of sand. Every leader needs something different. There's so many leaderships and models out there. And how can I help you get to that fast and apply it? One size does not fit all. It's about learn, try, transform, repeat until you get what you need. So the agenda is, I think I have covered all the goals and the logistic is for you to learn one thing that you're going to try. The tools you'll get and the bonuses you'll get if you are on my list. This is how I do it. I will talk a little bit about myself because this is how I do gems is who is it that's teaching us this stuff here. So as you see on the left side, these 6 books are the January to June 2025 books. I did last month, Gang the Gap. This month is me, Leading with Gratitude. And next month, really interesting, is the book called Results by Charlie Baker, the ex-governor of Massachusetts, and Steve Kadesh, who I actually met last week. Fascinating, fascinating guy to meet. So I'm excited about that. And it's very relevant because it is about using corporate success leadership frameworks and applying it to government for change. Sounds like something we need. So that's the agenda. I'll talk about me, the author. I'll talk about the science of gratitude, leadership and gratitude, shifting to gratitude, the GLAD tool, which is actually the core of this book, is the GLAD tool, what AI has to say about gratitude, and what's next. And I'm going to try to really focus on, and feel free for those who are here, but you can't see them to type in the chat if you want me to go down any direction, because I could talk about weeks for gratitude. Um, so that's what this is. It's a review of my first book with the goal of you finding one thing that you can use and take away right away. Okay, so that's the agenda. That's where we're going. So this is, and humbly, I'm trying to do this in the best way possible that would benefit you, is my gratitude story. So think about your gratitude story as we go through this. What I have learned over the years is that everyone grows up differently with gratitude. So, did when did you first recognize this thing called gratitude? Was it a religious? Was it your parents? What was it? For me, my mother always said, "Don't say something unless it's nice." So basically, don't talk unless it's nice. Hmm. And how well do you think that went over in the corporate engineering world where people always are criticizing each other? Not so well. So pretty quickly, I had to learn to say things that weren't easy and hard and difficult, lay people off, fire people, and do it in a nice way. Okay. It was counter to what I was taught growing up. In 2000, I had a life crash. I call everyone's life crash is different. You know, you have ups and downs. For me, it was I got divorced. I was a single mom raising 2 kids. My ex husband passed away. I left the corporate world, a big paying job, and I was running my own business. That was my crash. And it was gratitude that saved me for personal healing. But I didn't know it until in 2016, broke my ankle spectacularly. Crack. I heard the crack. I was outside. And I realized how much gratitude had impacted me. Yes. I quite the crash. Yes, as Gail, one of the commenters say, quite the crash. Yeah. So I realized how much gratitude had impacted me, my life crash. It wasn't until 16 years later I had a life crash. And then 16 years later, I get a broken ankle. And the funny thing is, I'm in incredible pain. And all I could do was be grateful. So what I had to do, and there's a copy of the book. This is the book, Leading with Gratitude. So I broke my ankle, sitting down. I was working at Boston University, adjunct professor. So I had access to research papers, research gratitude, and essentially, here's the bottom line for the whole book. Shh, don't tell anyone. The whole book essentially is gratitude belongs in business. Everyone understands gratitude in their personal lives, their religion, and everything else. Um, and what we do know, and what this book is that why isn't there more gratitude in business? Here's why. Here's why. And here's some tools. That's what this book is about. So I published it. And fast forward to it is 2025. I have a second book coming out. I'm going to share a little bit about that at the end. And the second book, here's the connection. This is what we're going to be talking about today is, okay, I published this. There's other people. I'm not the only one saying gratitude belongs in business, but why aren't people doing it? Why not? What I learned after doing about 50 interviews, a whole bunch of research, and kept going and going in workshops and coaching is that there are challenges. So the gratitude gap, that's the name of my book coming out this year, is about how do you overcome the challenges that prevent leaders from implementing gratitude in business. Okay. So as I go through this, you'll start to see some of the challenges and you'll have the foundation for, we need more gratitude in the business world. Okay, so that's me. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, we need more gratitude in business. And I know that most people listening to this already agree with me, but hopefully what I can do is give you some hints, tips, directions to look in to help support it. Call it my mission, my cause. That's what I'm about these days. So why gratitude? Well, we know it creates positive, productive places to work. We know from science, business studies, that those are the places that make more money, do better, have lower turnover, more innovation, more engagement. And that is actually the title of my book, More Engagement and Innovation. Okay, we know that. And what we also know, it's really easy to apply gratitude. Basically costs nothing unless you want to hire me to speak or do a workshop. There are no negative side effects, but there are challenges. That's my next book. There are challenges. So why gratitude? Well, that all sounds good and fine, but we can back it up with science. This slide was from 2017. Here's some of the science of gratitude. There's two general types of science, social science and neuroscience. Social science is behaviors. Um, the numbers are astounding. I read like 200 research reports back in 2017. 5 minutes of journaling, 10% overall improvement in your health and happiness. Depression is reduced, fewer physical symptoms, longer life expectancy. Okay, incredible. In the neuroscience, which has, because of AI and other reasons, has since 2017, it's an exponential growth in neuroscience. Neuroscience is, think of it as the feel-good chemicals in our body, dopamine, serotonin, all those positive, I feel grateful muscles. Here's the bottom line for leaders in workplace. What neuroscience gives us is another word called neuroplasticity, think plastic. We know that with gratitude, there's a sense of change is possible because we have hope. Gratitude gives us change and hope from a physical body point of view. And from another leader point of view, this is why I focus on leaders. Gratitude's like Wi-Fi for people. It's contagious, and we can see that. You put someone's LEDs, those electric things on one person's head and another. One person's grateful. It's like yawning. It's contagious. So there is science behind gratitude. And if that isn't enough, here's what I said about this this is from my new book. I did the research. I went back into the research library. I only used one source, Science Direct, 69,000 articles, research articles on gratitude. It's more than exponentially risen. The reason? Because it works. It works. Okay, so you're here because you already know it works. What I did do was categorize it into three general categories. Gratitude. Here's why it's so hard. There's so many reasons why it's so hard to get gratitude in business. So many reasons. Um, what I did do to make it simple is gratitude helps with physical health, mental health, and social health. And we know that leaders in workplaces that are physically healthy, mentally healthy, and socially healthy do better. Okay. All right. So leadership, let's get specific about leadership. So if gratitude is something that is in the environment, we know that here I'm going to go a little bit forward here as we know that, oh, I'm taking a deep breath. The world is full of change and chaos. I have customers this week, clients saying, we're in a hold pattern. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to have our jobs. We don't know if how much tariffs to charge. We don't know this. We don't know that. And what gratitude does is helps us deal with that difficult complexity and change. AI is another example. There's two things at camp. AI, bad. AI, good. It's probably somewhere in the middle, but it's an unknown. All of those things, gratitude is the answer. All right, so there's so many reasons that gratitude's important, which makes it hard to bring in to business because it's not one, it's multiple, it's foundational. Back in 2017, notice the bottom of this slide. I just want to say 2017. This slide was from 2017. And I can prove it 100 times more now. What I did in 2017, take examples of leadership model types and some of the current things that companies were using, and I put gratitude as the foundation. And I went through, I read them, I've worked with them, I've taught all these things. There is Brene Brown, What Makes a Leader, Leadership Challenge. Hopefully one of them you can relate to, have heard of some of them. These were the popular things, and they still are, in workplaces. And all of these had some sort of appreciation, gratitude, recognition as important. So the conclusion I came to is that gratitude is a foundation for organizational success and all the models that are already out there, that are already working. Okay. So it was already there. And in the next book, what you'll see is because of AI and the world of change and chaos we're in, all those models people are moving away from, there's a whole nother level leadership models that AI and change is coming into, and gratitude is even more stronger and more prevalent than it was. How many years ago was that? 7 years ago? It's becoming even more important. Instead of that one sentence or that one paragraph or one chapter, which these books did have on gratitude and leadership, there's now whole models based on gratitude for leaders now. So it is get ahead with the curve, join into it. So let me take a deep breath. I'm going to shift a little bit here. So what I've done really right now is, I know you all believe it already, is that it belongs in business. There's science to prove it. And the leadership models that are already out there already have it in it. All right. So that's where the why. Now, the what. This is what I promised you, the crash course in gratitude. So the crash course in gratitude. So this model is in my first book, and I'm going to expand it, and I've been teaching it forever. Really, really important. The first thing, there's 3 steps. Why aren't we more grateful? How do we become grateful? So it's 3 steps. The first step is noticing, oh, I'm angry right now. I'm pissed off. There's physical observations. My hand are clenched. My voice gets mad and angry. The example I give here is I was on the phone. Actually, as I was writing this book in 2017, I get a phone call. It's one of my account reps saying, Star, we're pulling you off this really high end, my favorite client ever. And I've been doing it forever. And I'm like, she can't see me. And I just get so mad. I can just feel myself breathing shallow. My hands are clenching, but I don't say anything. So I notice I am not feeling grateful right now. I am pissed off. And if I kept going down that path, I would have lost the job. So what I did instead, I noticed, I took a deep breath. I'm not feeling grateful. What do I need to do? And I shifted to grateful. And for me, step 2, the shift is different for everyone. It could be a pause. It could be breathing. It could be asking the question, why do I care? How important? Whatever it is. For me, it is, what am I grateful about in the situation? I've worked with this company for 2 years. They are amazing. I've learned so much. So I talked myself in less than 20 seconds into being grateful. And then when I was grateful, what I did, I asked her, the account rep who was taking me off the project, you know what? That's not acceptable to me. What could I do differently to keep this account? So do you see how calmly asking versus yelling and screaming and being defensive, 2 totally different results. So I did to end this, I did get to do another round with them, and I did understand some other stuff that was going on that was kind of relevant and irrelevant. So, and story and story, time and time again, I've collected when people shift to gratitude, the results are different. The results are more innovative, more engaged, and you stay connected to the human on the other side. Okay. The challenge, here's the tool, the crash course, step 1, 2, or 3. Which can you do all 3? Do you know when you're not feeling grateful? Some people can do it easy, some people can't. Do you know how to shift to gratitude? Are you aware when you're back grateful? And you know the options in the moment and long term, so that as leaders, we can deal with the change that's coming at us really fast. We don't have 2 days to think about a lot of this stuff in busy, crazy places. So that's the premise, the groundwork for this book. And the second book is that being able to notice and shift to gratitude. So think about the 3 steps and think about which one you're good at and which one you might want to consciously improve. All right. So easy and fine. That's great. And does anyone ever here's the premise of the book, and it's set up this way. Anyone ever heard of Pollyanna? Pollyanna. I used to be accused of being a Pollyanna. Um, oh, you're so happy. You're so nice. Everything's good. Nothing's wrong. And I probably was too happy, too nice. What Pollyanna, this is why I call it the GLAD. Pollyanna used to play the GLAD game. Like, she did something or she said something. Pollyanna is a fictional character written by Eleanor Porter or back in I think it was the early 1900s. And she's from New Hampshire too. That was my other tie because I'm in New Hampshire. Um, Pollyanna always looked at the bright side, the good side. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's actually a good thing. The problem is, this is the challenge, which I talk about more in my second book. The challenge is when we think about things positively and ignore the negative. So Pollyanna used a GLAD model and approach, and that's what I'm teaching here. It's okay to be grateful and be positive and see the good stuff, and then acknowledge the reality, the reality. So that's what the GLAD model is about. So Pollyanna would do something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Papa. I have to get, she said something, her aunt, it was a mean aunt she lived with because her father had died. Um, her mean aunt said something, and Pollyanna said something back, and the aunt sent Pollyanna to her bedroom. And Pollyanna says something like, I'm so sorry I'm missing my dinner. But you know what? It's so wonderful to sit here and look out the window and see everything good that happens. Yes, yes. So what she did was she understood, she said, I'm missing my dinner. I'm hungry. So she's acknowledging that reality and she's seeing the good in it. It's both. So the GLAD tool that Pollyanna used, and I'm teaching, this is your crash course. And yes, so many of us, I'm looking at the chat, so many of us are Pollyannas, me. And sometimes we're a bit too good and too happy. And when that happens, we ignore the lessons, the analysis, the do, and we don't see the whole picture. That's the downside of being grateful. That's a challenge. Okay, so the GLAD model is, this is why I did the shift. Start with gratitude. Start with gratitude, okay? Because it also, we know, it opens up your mind. The opposite of gratitude is survival mode, fight, focus, flee, run away, don't say anything. So how can you be grateful and deal with the hard truth? That is not toxic positivity. All right. So what the GLAD model is, start with gratitude, right? Here's the model in a nutshell. Start with appreciation. What do I appreciate about this situation? Even though I'm not getting dinner, even though my boss yelled at me, even though I broke my ankle. I appreciate it when I broke my ankle because I got to write this book. I got to step back. I got to see how much gratitude was important. There are so many good things that came out of breaking my ankle. Sounds crazy? What were the lessons? Oh, gratitude works. What were the lessons? Oh, my aunt doesn't like it when I say that. What were the lessons? Oh, the story I have on my the phone call is, oh, I wasn't paying attention to something. Oh, how can we analyze it? So start with shifting to gratitude, open mind, look at the lessons. It's always about reflection, reflection, time and time again. Leaders, reflect, reflect. Do the analysis, and then take action and repeat. That is the GLAD muscle. Gratitude lessons, analysis, doing. So simple, right? So I'm not going to go into all of this. All this is in the book, but it's just a different way in a very, call it from my background, engineering, project management background of lessons. Sorry, there we go. So from the lessons, when the phone call happened, and I was really mad, I shifted to gratitude. And then I said, in a very neutral, authentic, and curious way, huh, you know what? That didn't go well. So I'm accepting the reality. And what could we do differently? What was challenging? What can we learn from this? So it's getting to that place in not faking it, in reality, where you can really truly say, huh, what's happening here? What's the lesson? What do I need to learn? And then it's doing the analysis. And I'm a big fan of this. There's a million ways to do analysis. And I'm a big fan of doing it this way. And I have a whole class on just this slide for doing analysis. It's like, wow, what are the facts here? Okay, I've taught this for 2 years. I get the top level. What are the facts? She's asking me to leave. They contradict. Is there a story? What's the root cause? Why is that happening? Then there are the beliefs. Why do I think she's leaving? Why does she thinks it? And then there's the feeling, ooh, I'm feeling angry. What is she feeling? Maybe anxious. Do I need to have some empathy? So it's really about some of us are facts. I work with engineers, they go there. Some of us are belief and some of us are feeling. So when you're in that grateful place and you look at analysis from all three of these ways, you're more likely to get a bigger or open view of what's really going on. So it's like, let's look at all of these, take the lessons, do the analysis, and then then take action. And it could be nothing. Action could be nothing. But I do like the action. If money and time were not an issue, what would be done? So there's like the perfect action. And then there's realistic alternatives. What next, by when, and who, and how. So it's all sort of my project management stuff coming into how do we stay connected as people, deal with the hard stuff, and appreciate it because someone told us there was something hard and move forward from there. So that is the GLAD model. Gratitude, lessons, analysis, and doing. Very simple, yet very powerful, because what it does is it forces us into this place where we can see all of reality, empathize with it, understand it, reflect on it, analyze it, and take action. So if I had taken action from not being grateful, I would have never gotten every chance and understood. If I had just went and broken my ankle and not thought about it, I would never have written the book. If originally, when I was being yelled at one point when I was a young manager, if I did not step back and understand the importance of it, I never would have been able to confront now. Or actually this morning, ironically, this morning with a client, I said, what I'm really good at is I will call the hard, the difficult, and the white elephants in the room. The hard stuff, facing the hard stuff. So the doing is a holistic doing what needs to be right at that moment in time the best you can. And if it doesn't work, no matter. It's all about risk taking. You'll try something else because it's circular. So that's generally, I think, generally where we are. I also do include in the book, because I'm a big planner and I keep up with this theme, is that how can you create a plan and a practice? And I've interviewed tons of leaders, more for my next book, but there are some examples of leaders in here that have created a plan and a practice. What are your strengths? What are your challenges? How do you learn best? What are you going to do daily, weekly, or monthly? What do you want to focus on? Because leaders, gems, your gratitude plan and practice is different. It amazes me how differently people practice gratitude in work settings, in cultures around the world. Americans, we say thank you too much. My German friend, when she flies over to Germany, where she spent the first 20 years of her life, says, I have to let thank yous drop into the Atlantic Ocean because we don't say thank you as much in Germany. Okay. Personalities too. If you do any personality assessments, you can track gratitude. Like, for example, an extrovert, yay, tell everyone. an introvert, come tell me privately that you appreciate me. Okay. So Marshall Goldsmith, one of my sort of mentors at a very high level in the executive coaching, what he says, it's important to create triggers in your work and life to remember to focus on gratitude. That's creating the plan and the practice that works for you. Okay. So this, I can send it to you. It's in the book. Here's different ways people create gratitude skills. Personalize it. You can play games. I have one woman, they do a text. She has 5 people on her text chain every morning. They text each other. They have a little group. I have people meditate on it, socialize it, challenges. I have one woman who's so busy. She has 2 kids and a full-time professional job. She dances to it. She's changing her baby's diaper in the morning. That's her gratitude time. Oprah. I heard Oprah at the Women's Fast Conference. Here's what she said about it. She's very spiritual and deep. She talked a lot about spirituality. And she's a big gratitude proponent. You always have the toilet. Oprah said that. So it's, but I have a music list. If anyone's interested, I just made it 3 months ago. I have a gratitude playlist on Spotify I will share with you. In the business for leaders, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I'll send the Spotify playlist out on the recording too. That's what I'll do. In business, it's different because we understand that there's other people that we have to understand their place in gratitude. I'm a big proponent. You must teach it. It's foundational. You can teach gratitude. It is a skill. That's actually my next book. Say it, write it, gift it, program it. Daily Huddle. One of the businesses I interviewed that's in the book, Dr. Mary, at the end of every night, she's a chiropractor, they got together and say, what did you appreciate today? What went well? Every day she does that with her staff of 5 or 6 people. A silent moment, game it, performance, put it in your performance plans. Imagine that, a yearly performance plan. How grateful were they? Publicly state it, measure it, create it as part of the culture. There are companies, Toyota's an example, and a few others that have at the top of their company, we will be grateful. Make it a core value. Okay, so it is very different how it comes out in businesses, depending upon the business culture, and basically the industry they're into. And there are ways to do it. I have some in the book, and I have a lot more in the second book. So I'm almost done. I think, let's see, a couple more slides here. Oh, and of course I always ask AI. AI always agrees with me, but I asked 2 AI bots. I think I'm going to use these words on the back of my next book. Well, let me know what you think. One was ChatGPT and one was Google Gemini. I said, why is gratitude important for leaders? I asked them both the same question. It's a powerful tool that leaders can use to improve their team's performance, build stronger relations, and create a more positive workforce. Yes. The other one said it's simple, yes, and powerful. Drives engagement, strengthens team, it improves organizational success. Yes. And the key, and this is what boggles my mind, we know it does all those things and it's foundational. So why don't more people do it? Because they don't know how to make it intentional and consistent. That's the challenge. How do you make it intentional and consistent? That really is the challenge. And knowing that, the title of my book is The Gratitude Gap. I don't have a cover yet. I'm working on it right now. The Gratitude Gap is the title because I want to know, why isn't it consistent? Why? Well, I discovered 3 truths. If you believe that everything is better with gratitude, gratitude is a skill, meaning that you need to learn it and get better at it, and that gratitude has challenges and it's easy. If you understand those 3 things and all of the challenges, then you can address them. So this is a sneak preview. I don't expect you to understand. I have over 50 challenges that I have found that get in the way of workplaces and leaders bringing gratitude in and getting all those amazing benefits. Okay. So the gratitude gap, transforming leaders to overcome the challenges. That's where I'm going with this. So that's where I'm going after 7 years. My summary is gratitude belongs in business, and even more so now because of the change complexity. Workplaces, leaders, and science have used it for years and had success. Absolutely. And it takes practice and attention. You can't just assume it's going to be there. It has to be intentional. There has to be a goal. You have to measure it and you have to teach it. It is glad. This is the basis of this book. Gratitude, lessons, analysis, doing. Be grateful, learn your lesson, analyze it, and do something is a tool for ensuring consistent gratitude. So, if you're willing to join me in my next book, The Gratitude Gap, I'm hoping by the spring it will be out. It's about to go to the editor next week for the second time. I'm looking for early reviewers. I'll send you a physical copy if you give me some feedback, and any launch supporters, you'll be able to buy it for 99 cents for a couple days like that. So that is my second book. So, um, I'm going to turn off the recording in a few minutes, but what I'm looking for anyone who listens to this, whether it's live or later, what did you take away? How can you bring gratitude into business more? That's what I'm looking for as a leader. Join me. It's the gems is always the third Friday of the month. The next one is results. And then I have deliver unforgettable presentations, which is for speakers mostly, crucial conversations. And then I go back to DISC, which is a personality. And then I'm hoping in July, I'm going to start focusing more on my books. So I do have a resource list, and I think I do have 2 workshops that I've actually delivered already. Lead with Confidence, Try Gratitude, and there's another one which I didn't include. It's tools, gratitude tools for leaders right now. There it is, the missing leadership tool, gratitude. So I have actually been speaking and selling workshops before I've even published the books. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. I'm excited. The material's there, it's provable, and it works. So I'm going to turn off the recording and hope you enjoyed it, and let me hear from you. I'd love to hear from you about gratitude. So let me stop the recording and say thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I will see you next month, I hope. Bye-bye.